Maybe we can wait just
Yeah,
5
let me
or
know when we can start.
10 minutes. Get me right that we have started. In which city do you live in, Purvi?
Mumbai,
Which one?
Mumbai, Bombay.
Mumbai. Okay,
Yeah, Bombay, which is known as Mumbai now.
I know that. And I have friend from New Delhi, and she is a great teacher like you. Hi Hilal, welcome. Nagihan, welcome. We can start, Purvi, if you're okay.
Uh,
I don't
yeah,
want to
yeah,
waste your
I'm
time.
no problem. I'm more than happy to start. So first of all, namaste, and thank you for giving me this wonderful opportunity to share my projects with all of y'all. And if you would like to join for any of the projects or would like to know something more about it, we can definitely go ahead. So before that, I would like to quickly introduce myself. I'm Purvi Parekh. I'm an IB primary years educator from Mumbai, India. I am also a scientific ambassador for India. I'm a Teach SDGs ambassador. SDGs are Sustainable Development Goals. And I'm also a global schools advocate, community advocate for Connect 8, certified National Geographic educator, climate educator, United Nations volunteer, and World Literacy Ambassador, along with STEM fellow for STEM ED innovator. And there's a new foundation that I've recently joined, which believes in causes of helping people around and planting more trees. So that is called as We Rise Together. And I really like to be creative. So I'm also a Adobe Creative Educator. So moving ahead, my topic is about the STEM education that we have in India. Let me quickly go ahead and take you all through. So STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, math, which has different acronyms in different countries. Like that, we have different acronyms in our country as well. STEM, the extension is again art, some kind of art integration, science, technology, research, engineering, art, mathematics. So we have different names, but it all means to be together. Integration of learning, bringing in a lot of curiosity for learners. So let us see what is STEM education in India and what is it focusing on. So STEM education in India focuses more on building child's curiosity. We all know about the 21st century skills. And if anybody would want to just reiterate or tell us what is 21st century skills, anyone who would like to tell us? Anyone here would like to go ahead and tell us about 21st century skills? We have learners or we have people around who would like to tell me what are 21st century skills? Collaboration, communication, critical thinking, all those skills are really important. So STEM education in India focuses on creativity, curiosity to enhance both professional, personal design thinking, computational thinking, to learn more about, to do with coding, to learn about how things work in a certain way, adaptive learning and physical computing. So now India is at a point wherein initially there were not much of the importance given to the STEM, but now slowly and steadily people have started learning more about STEM as a career. Engineering and IT and all was already there. But STEM graduates have started coming in the picture. So according to our National Science Foundation, 80% of professions generated in next decade, as in coming decade, will have more of science and math knowledge. Children's interest in science disciplines develop at average age of 8, according to research. So even if you look at your own schools and when you ask learners, they like to do more of hands-on activity. So instead of writing in a book, if we tell us, please go ahead, look outside the nature and bring into something more, calculate more things, they would like to do it more. So we are trying to integrate research, we are trying to integrate learning in terms of both science, math, research, and technology. And this pandemic, technology has played a vital role. Moving ahead. So we have STEM education in India. There's something called by the initiative by Government of India, which is called as the iSTEP, which helps learners like me or anybody who wants to do the research. It's a platform wherein we can go ahead, collaborate. Like how we have Scientix, we have something, it's not exactly like Scientix, but it's a platform by Government of India. So basically anybody who would want to do research, Indians can go ahead and look and do the research. So moving ahead, certain agenda that I have for today's session, what I'll be looking at, it is, since I said that I'm an international IB educator, that is international primary year educator. So international baccalaureate, we have PYB, I'm a grade 5 teacher. So I try to integrate both IB philosophy and STEM in it. So IB pedagogy and STEM both. So I would like, Bahar said there's a design thinking teacher here. So I would like to say that I have also done a design thinking project based on democratic teaching framework. So I like to explain that as well. And along with SDGs, how STEM plays a vital role, that also I'm going to share with you all. So quickly, let me take you all through ahead project. So now IB pedagogy, like I said, is transdisciplinary. So one of my unit, which was how the world works, in that there was a topic called as energy. So now in the first line of inquiry, that is an inquiry into renewable and non-renewable energy sources, we integrated it with STEM. So renewable energy is the energy which is freely available, and non-renewable energy, we know that it's not freely available and we have to foster it, right? So what are the ways? I told my learners, think out of the box and look for something that's really interesting. So we went ahead and I had given this project and we actually did it together in the class, as in making a miniature of water wheel to better understand a renewable energy. So I will definitely share this link with all of y'all, or maybe I'll share the link, and you can also see how you can create a water wheel, and it is super fun to create it by yourself and see how moving water helps to generate hydroelectricity. So that they made a connection of renewable energy with hydroelectricity. There were this material list which I had already given to my learners, and the skill sets that I was testing is observation. What can my learners observe? What connections can they make? What are the analysis after the observation? And of course, collaboration and communication. When you do the experiment, what are you able to get out of this experiment? So here your science skills are tested, your technological skills are tested, your engineering, whether you're able to make the model. And of course, your mathematical skills are tested because the way you do the alignment. So lot of things were done. We did it together, and I'll show you it had come up to be a wonderful. This is how my learners demonstrated this wheel. This was all made by them. Paper plates, the container, the wooden scales, the wooden rulers, and the skewers, card deck. So they all made this, okay, with my instruction. And then I'll show you all the video. They really enjoyed it. We did it together, and I'll show you all the video. Yeah. So we did this together. This is one of the example of my learners. So moving water plays a vital role in generation of electricity, and this is connected to hydroelectric project. If you see,
That seems really interesting and excellent way to teach STEM. You're awesome.
Yeah. So this is how it did, because learners thought that what is this? How will water move? And they were trying to push their hand. I said, don't push your hand, with the moving water, it's going to flow. You don't have to touch it. So they were very happy, and this tested their analytical skills. When you're looking at it, you are going to retry it, rebuild it, re-engineer, and you can only make a perfect model when you think like an engineer. Like, you try, you ask, you deliver, say, this is not working for me. So what can I do? What can I do better? And then I also made learners with buddies. This is when we were in school. So we were lucky that we got some time to be in school. So that is when we did this. So basically here the concept was of how moving water can help you generate hydroelectricity. So they made this connection with renewable source of energy. Okay. And this is how we did. And then I gave them a formative test is also important. So I told them, how can you connect, extend, and record? So they can record it the way they would like to. They like to create it a video. This is how my child showed in form of video. And then again, they explained what is the connection between water wheel and hydroelectric energy. So this was a task that I gave them, and they came up with great answers and solutions. Now moving on to my second project, which is the Good Health and Well-being project. Now this is also a very important project for me, because I was doing a fellowship with STEM ED Innovators, which is a Jhumki Basu Foundation from the US. And here what we did is the design thinking project, I was connected to a democratic STEM teaching framework. So what is this democratic STEM teaching framework? It depends upon student voice. So we all want to learn about students' voice, what the learners think, whether they are able to collaborate, whether they are able to learn from each other, and how are they making this learning transferable. So critical STEM literacy. So all these factors were involved. So empathizing is a very great stage in design thinking, whether you're able to connect with the situation, you're defining a problem, you're brainstorming, you are prototyping, and again testing in case if you do not. So it's a process. So product is absolutely important, but the process is very, very important. So I did a project here, which is called as a Good Health project. So my project was based upon fostering good health and well-being in the classroom. So in this project, we wanted to check on how our learners are eating the food habits, like, how our learners are eating food. So maintaining a great food habits, because in pandemic, we know that we are at home and we tend to eat something which is sometimes junk. We don't pay attention, and we are like, we are at home, we don't have to go outside. We kind of eat a lot of food which is unwanted food, basically junk food. So my learners also came up with that they would do a food log to maintain a healthy eating habits, and not only health habits, but also how important it is to be socially, mentally, and you have to be fit, right? So all these things are also very important for my learners. So they came up with their own checklist, that they'll be compassionate, they'll help everyone, they'll showcase gratitude, they'll respect others, they'll laugh more. So they used to look at different poems, different stories, and they used to come up and they laugh more. Like, we used to have this mindfulness session, breathing exercises. So we used to do that. And then I took a empathy interview, the very first stage of design thinking. I checked what is the reason that why do we need to, have to eat out from outside. So how has food log helped you? So like they created a food log. So how does food log help you? Why do you think that good health is important? And how often do you eat outside? So when they're tracking, they're actually knowing that how food log has helped. So somebody just said that food log has helped me to monitor my daily food. So good health is essential to learning and staying away from diseases. So now one learner told me they eat thrice a month outside food like pizzas and burgers. And then someone said, I ensure to eat vegetables, lentils, and my protein. So learners are getting aware of the science behind why to eat good food, why to eat healthy food. And someone also mentioned, these are all my learners' notes. I have collated and put it here. It is essential for good functioning of my brain and physical body. And one of the learners also mentioned, I eat thrice to 4 times outside. So learners are aware now that they have to give the data, and they're giving the real authentic data. Any questions so far? Can I move ahead? Any questions, anyone? Okay. Then problem of practice. This is also really important, whether we identify the practice. Now, if there is a problem in a situation or a project, we need to identify to rework on it. So I always focus on healthy and sustainable way of eating so that learners exercise. So we have those PE classes where learners do the PE, physical exercises like yoga, kickboxing, online dance, and you have to save food, don't waste unnecessary food wastage is also important. So now certain questions we need to ask ourselves, that is, how will learners or students showcase agency in recording their healthy food? So now we have to be academically honest, we have to make sure that we have a proper food log, consistency has to be there. So all of these questions we ask so that we are in the design framework. Then how might we? This is a very important stage. Certain questions, again, we ask. These are the problem statements. Certain problem statements are there because then you will be able to find the solution. How might we collaborate with student agency for being well-being in house and community? So we know that how pandemic has impacted all of us. So having a lighter day is also okay, but just talk to learners, talk to them about anything that they would want to share, because I think I, as a teacher, learn a lot from my students. They tell me, Miss, you can do this. Miss, you can bring in new technology. So my students are my, they lead the class with me. So I'm very happy that learners contribute in the class. This is something that I did. It's called as a wellness project. Again, a reflection. This video is very good. It's about how you can be compassionate. If you wish to look at the video, I can share it. Can I share the video? It's very interesting video.
Yes, we would like to see it.
We have the time to look at this. Okay.
Yes, we have.
So you see how important is technology in inculcating the videos. So with this good health and well-being project, it's not just about being physically fit, but emotionally, mentally, and socially. So my learners, when they reflected, they said that this video has touched their heart. And when they reflect, they say that the video was so awesome because the dog thought the bird was stealing. But when he went to feed his kids, but the kids only liked the food that was in the boat, when the dog saw that the birds children did not like the fish and wanted the worms that were on the boat, he gave some to the bird and say thank you. So this is as it is what my learners have given. I have not edited the grammar or nothing because I felt so connected that whatever that they are writing, it's coming right from their heart. So they liked this video so much and they were so empathetic about how somebody, we don't know somebody else's perspective unless we are in their own shoes, right? So this is how we reflected on our project of well-being, pause and reflect. Then yeah, it means if you put kindness, someone get that kindness, you get that kindness in return. So always be kind to people around you, and we don't know whom we are helping and who helps us. So just be kind. That was a reflection that came from the learners. And then we continued this compassion project, and this is a jar which I suggest you should also do, everyone. So fill this jar with positivity. So my learners kept on filling it daily with passion, motivating, dream, nurturing, admiring, radiant, zappy, positivity, amazing, fabulous, victorious, value, splendid. All these things are coming from the learners, and they practice this positive words, like how we practice the scientific vocabularies. They practice this words and they shared with everyone around them. So this is student voice that is coming up from the learners, and they felt so connected with the project. Compassion bingo calendar. This is something, it's an Act for Happiness website. This was done in June 2021. So that's the thing, but you can go ahead now and look at their recent January thing calendar. It has very good points which you can practice. For example, bring joy to others by doing something kind for them. So it has a mixture of points which you can practice from day one to say end of the month. So my learners practice this in terms of social and emotional well-being. When we talk about good health, which is again balanced diet, food diet, but we kind of ignore the emotional well-being. So I thought we should also include compassion when we are learning. So push my thinking. I always ask my learners to think from local to national to global. So look at any problem or situation in your local community, think about it a little more, and then go to national or global issue. So it could be anything in relation with wastage. So wastage can be thought from your locality. You can reduce, reuse, repurpose. So I usually do that when I have any extra thing at my house. I kind of plant in it. So I have a jar. If I have something, I order like a milkshake and I get it in a glass jar. glass bottle, I try to put some soil in it and plant something out of it. So repurpose is very important. Look at around yourself and see what changes you can make and how you can connect it with environment. So environment is also a science for us. We can look around ourselves and see how we can bring in diversity. We have to protect our earth. There's no other planet B, right? So think about all of this. So democratic STEM pedagogy, like I said, the Jhumki Basu Foundation, we focused on the student voice. Students are doing their projects. Shared authority, they are sharing what they are thinking. Critical STEM literacy, as in they are trying to solve a problem which really exists. So we have to bring in real life solutions. So our education is based on creating action projects and bringing in solutions. So sometimes solutions work. I'm not saying it's 100% right. We have to redo a lot of things, but we should always try. So this is the project which aligned my student voice, shared authority, critical STEM literacy. So during this project, I had a lot of collaboration with other teachers, my learners, my own mentors. So we did a lot of brainstorming, lot of understanding together, and that helped us to be successful in our project. So we usually follow this beautiful strategy called as the tag strategy. So what is it? Tell something that you like, ask questions and give feedback. So what happens when one student is doing this to another, like they have a project, when they share it, they feel very excited because they feel that whatever they are saying, like they are giving feedback, like how teacher gives the feedback. So they feel very excited about this. So tell something you like, ask a question and give a feedback. So this feedback also has steps, like, you have to, you give the feedback for the work. You don't give feedback to the student, as in you are not giving feedback to the student. So I always tell my learners, don't get offended or don't take feedback negative. It's about your work. And when you improve your work, you will always have a constructive feedback. So it's like metacognition, learning about learning. So now this is the favorite part of mine, that is global goals. So education sustainability is something that I connect with the STEM. So any projects, like how STEM is everywhere, European School Next Academy always focuses on STEM is all, STEM is everywhere. Similarly, SDGs are also interlinked. These are 17 global goals given by the United Nations and the Agenda 2030, which needs to be achieved by 2030, and this was launched in 2015. So we only have 8 years to achieve this. So I try to integrate most of them or any one in my curriculum. So if I'm thinking about energy, so I can definitely connect it to affordable and clean energy. Okay. And good health and well-being, I can connect it to, even if it's a science project, I can connect it to good health and well-being. So Lord, I tell my learners, whenever you're looking even at a science project or a math, try to think from local to global. That's when we can bring in a diversification. Okay. So then there are certain projects where I have conducted sessions in explaining my learners how important it is to connect the 17 goals. Explaining. So now learners come up with great definitions and queries. How can I solve this problem? Whether I can think logically, whether I can solve it by doing research or any mathematical strands that I can use. So I tell them, give your best judgment. These are some of the projects that I did. I conducted a session. Now this is important. How technology plays an important role and how can you connect technology with SDGs or design thinking or all of them together. So we have a unit which is on energy, like I mentioned. So the third line of inquiry is about sustainable practices. So this is a science unit in which conservation is there, how you can save energy. So energy efficiency is very important. So I told my learners, you will be designing a room. You design a room by thinking design thinking model. and think about what all energy saving or maybe energy efficiency that you can use in your room. So for example, if you have normal lights, would you not think of replacing those with LED? So design a room which is more of energy efficient. So they came up with the definition and now they are preparing it. So tomorrow, Wednesday is the submission. Wednesday is the submission. So I'll get to know what they have made. So I have told them, make a local room first, bedroom or any room that you want to design. Include a lot of things like big windows, so you can get natural sunlight, natural ventilation, so you don't use much of the fan or ACs, so that there's ventilation, natural ventilation, and in a way you're kind of conserving energy. And these are nothing but sustainable practices. And what we did is it's a collaborative jam board that we gave. So the learners are using technology, learners are using design thinking, and learners are making sustainable practices. So this is all like all the projects working together, if you see. It has goals, SDGs by conserving energy. It has design thinking because they're creating, they're testing, they're going to make some changes. So all of this are coming in together. So the tools that I normally use are Padlet, Mentimeter, VoiceThread, Jamboard, Google Slides, and Google Documents. So all the Google, I prefer Google tools. Reason is it is very collaborative. Padlet is again collaborative. You can add pictures. Mentimeter will give you a live demonstration of what is happening. So all these tools are really interesting. Yes, and this is also one of the really good tool, and this is for inquiry into something like if you want to inquire into, say, eyes, ears, so you can go to Jigspace. If you have an iOS or iPad, you can download it. It's mostly, I think it's free. So this is something, it will take you into the integration of learning. So you can definitely go ahead and look at it. You can download it. And something that I'm really interested is 1 hour coding, which is that is something that I'm practicing on, which is 1 hour coding with Code.org. And the references of the sites that I've used is UN website, Jamboard, Jigspace, and Goodreads. So this is done. Thank you so much. And if there are any questions or anything that you would want to revisit of my project, you can definitely ask me questions, anything that you would want to say, help, require, any project that you would want to do, or you need any help of mine, I would be more than happy to share it with you.
Indeed, thank you. It was really awesome. And I really got a lot of clues and lots of interesting ideas, which I can use in my project and also at school, especially well-being in STEM. It's really interesting to me. And I think I must do it next week or 2 weeks later. That was a great idea. I have a question. I don't know if the others have question or not, but I'd like to learn that. Is STEM integrated into your curriculum, or you do extra courses for STEM? What is the policy, your national policy in that point?
So I like that question because what happens here is, for teaching, like I said, I'm an IB teacher. So we usually try to integrate science, technology, math in the curriculum, but it is never mentioned as STEM, STEAM, or STEM. But it is always there. When you see, when we are doing English, we are always connecting it with our unit of inquiry. So we, in a way, we are integrating it, but it is never named as STEM or STEAM. But now my school is coming up with a curriculum which is STEM, which I was a curriculum developer in it. And we are coming up with something that is called as STEM. So it is going to be a part of it soon. I'm not sure when, but it is going to be. I don't see as so much of integration like a separate unit for a STEM department. in most of the schools that I have worked in. But whenever we have professional development, we have something to do with STEM. But now IB is also, I guess, so we have a lot of integration that's happening. So it is going, I'm sure it will be a part of it soon. But some of the schools do have STEM as a curriculum. So like we have different schools, we have different, we have lots of curriculum framework in my country. So some may follow it directly, some may not follow it directly, but again, there's always an integration. So when you talk about science, you will always think about math. Science will have numbers, but we don't say it like, we are integrating it directly. But I see it that we always integrate science, and now technology is being a part of it. So we include technology in everything. So science is there, with math is there, engineering. Yes, you think as engineering design thinking, right? You think you have that engineering process.
So multidisciplinary approach is already integrated into the education.
Yeah, yes, IB focuses on transdisciplinary approach. So you have that transdisciplinary themes, and then you have subjects. Like I'm a homeroom teacher, so there are English, math, science, but it is also depends upon the transdisciplinary theme. So for how the world works, so the subjects that are focused are science is focused, that's when the unit of inquiry, the research unit is energy. So then we focus on concept building. We give a lot of exploration to our learners. If they want, so recently I did a conduction, convection and radiation experiment with my learners. So I give them that opportunity to look around, research and come back. So if they want to do an experiment, they are free to do it. I'm more than happy if they want to do an experiment. So I haven't tried much of coding, but I'm very interested in doing coding and micro bit of it. So my learners are of grade 5. So I may definitely try something really interesting soon. But more of my project is on research-based, hands-on activities, and more into collaboration. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. And is there any question? Do you want to add something?
Yeah.
And they want to
I will
learn the name of the video, or could you share the link of the video with us?
Yes, definitely I'll do that. I can do that right away. Let me just quickly go to the video and share it. And meanwhile, if I can take any other questions. Any other questions that you want me to take?
I think no. There is a big silence here. And I have another question, if they don't have. Did your students, while you're explaining the well-being and good health habits, did they change their habits, health habits, like, let's say, in long term? Or what was the result of this activity? Have you realized the change exactly, or maybe it was permanent for a short time, but then they come back their old habits, just like eating chocolate every day, or what else?
Very good question, because when they actually, so they had the spreadsheet of collecting their data, Excel or a spreadsheet. So when they used to write, they used to actually see what they are eating. So even when we write down, we actually notice what we are eating. So initially it was very difficult for them not to eat whatever is unhealthy. Or even we as the teachers or human beings, we also like to have that extra ice cream, or say if there is a burger, I may like to eat it. So all the habits cannot change immediately. So slowly and steadily they started bringing in some of the changes. It's not 100% changes, but some changes I can see. They have started exercising. And one thing that I have consistently observed is we do mindful practices. That is, we do breathing exercises, meditation in my class. So I have given this allocation to one of my students. She does spin the wheel and it has all the learners' name. So whoever name comes, they lead the class and they do the breathing exercise. That is,
Wow.
take deep breathing exercises, 1, 2, 3, and all, just say Om in the calming down. So they feel very positive about this. Initially, I felt that whether students will like it or not, but now in 3, 4 months, I could see they are taking that initiative and they are doing it and they are liking it. So I have not changed that morning or 10 minutes with learners. So they enjoy that. Yeah.
But
I
the
see there are questions. Yeah.
big change starts with the small ones, huh?
Yes, yes, definitely. So we can also do something like a sketch noting. I recently did sketch noting. I participated in the 11th of January was a World Sketch Note Day. So I, with other collaborators, we worked on something called as Team Yellow. So we made sun, we made a lot of activities in it and we shared it on Twitter. So that was also fun activity that I keep on doing for myself as a teacher, but it's quite good to see learning happening.
Yeah. And one more
So,
question. How do you evaluate the results of your STEM activities? How do you evaluate?
yes. So, what I do usually is we have something called as Seesaw. Seesaw is a platform wherein we ask our learners to submit their work. So
Mm-hmm.
whatever learning engagement that we have, we do it on Seesaw platform. And this activity, like I showed you all the video about the moving wheel. So that activity was supposed to be recorded for my learners. So they record, they write the reflection, and I see their participation and I understand how well they have participated. So this is just like a formative assessment. So whatever their understanding is, so on the basis of this formative assessment, we kind of assess their learning. So it's always ongoing assessment.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that they would want to ask or anything they would like to share. So it's always an ongoing assessment. Yes.
So your activities are based on um, the time. Let's say the progress based. Indeed, it is not the based on the product.
No, so what happens here is we are looking at the overall development of the
Mm-hmm.
child. So we have a rubrics, like, we have a co-constructed rubrics that we create for our learners together. And then there are, in IB, we have 3 lines of inquiry and it's concept based. So what is the concept, whether it's a form, it's responsible, like sustainable practices and inquiry into sustainable practices. The key concepts is the concept here is responsibility. So how has the child, whether I understand if the child is not able to design a perfect room with energy efficient, but he or she is able to give me the examples of what a energy efficient locality or the world would look like. So sometimes we also have to look at the multiple intelligence part of it. That is, some learners will be in terms of spatial, some will be naturalist, some will be kinesthetic. So I consider into all these factors and see how much as the child participated. So for me, the process is very important, but for learners, they should also submit their work in order to get in order to assess them, right? So that reinforcement is always there.
Okay, thank you. I think there are lots of thank you messages here, and
I have shared the video. I hope you can see that video. It's a beautiful video, and that video had received a lot of. I think it had received some awards also from its. I think it has won the Oscar or something. So you can definitely watch it and enjoy that video. I personally love that video because it creates a lot of positivity.
exactly. Okay, if you want to add something, you're welcome, and I really thank you a lot for your for accepting our invitation and welcoming our students and explain your experiences and your strategies, and they really enlightened us. Thank you.
Yes, I am also willing to learn from y'all. So if you are doing coding or you are using those microbit or anything that you are doing it, I'm more than happy to learn from you. You can always share your learning engagements with me. I
I
will
will.
definitely share it with my students. They will enjoy it because it's always, we are in the same world of educators. We can always share our practices. So all our
Exactly.
learners across globe will be benefited. And I thank you all so much for being here, being patient, and thank you so much. It was a pleasure. All pleasure was mine. Thank you.
Sorry.
No problem.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you all. And
Thank you so much. Take care, all
everyone,
of you all.
thanks
Be
again.
safe.
Greetings from
Be
Turkey
safe.
to India. And you're always welcome to here again.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I will come.
Whenever you want to come, just give a call and I will be glad to welcome you in Israel. Okay.
Yes, definitely, definitely. You all take care and bye, all of you all. Bye.
Bye bye. Thank you, guys,
Thank
teachers,
you.
and students. See you later.
Bye.